What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to Some Dungeon Defenders 2. This new series that I'm starting today is Let's Play Ancient Power, and I'm doing a very first Ancient Power reset on my alt account. So this is an account that doesn't have all the bells and whistles as my main account. It's something that doesn't have a lot of perfect mods. Actually, I have 0 perfect mods. I don't have any gilded shards. Of course, I've never used Ancient Power before, so it's all fresh. Now, the first thing I always tell people to do before they consider their first Ancient Power reset is to push as high as you can, or as high as you want to, for that matter, in Onslaught. Now, do not do an Ancient Power reset as soon as it's available, or you're probably going to be immediately upset about it. So push as high as you can in Onslaught. For me personally, I probably wouldn't ever consider doing an AP reset prior to hitting about floor 60 or 70 for the very first time. Now, as you see here, I've gone to Onslaught floor 97, so I am far past that and good to go. So if I did an Ancient Power reset right now, as you see my current bonuses are 0, I would gain 5% gold, 5% experience, plus 300 to my talent caps, and plus 900 to my minimum ascension level. You're going to push that minimum ascension level up for each Onslaught floor that you climb, and that's why it's so important to climb higher and higher. As far as the talent caps go, they are going to be cumulative and keep increasing. However, you want to get to a minimum ascension that's going to just allow you to completely blow through your Ancient Power resets. Now, a lot of folks will tell you to climb, and there's no lie. The higher you climb, the easier the AP resets are going to be. However, how high do you really need to climb? It's not into the hundreds like a lot of folks are telling you. And here's why I say that. Now, you've already gone through the game. You've gone Chaos 1 to Chaos 7, whether it be through Expeditions or through Onslaught. You have gone through it. Now, you've gone through it without having any shards, without having any mods, and without having any ascension. So, going through it again, going through the same difficulties again, where you already understand the mobs, with any ascension is a huge buff. With any shards is a huge buff. And with any decent mods is just a huge buff. So with very little added in, you're actually going to just steamroll through your Ancient Power resets, and you want to make sure you do that as quickly as possible. Now, it's always going to be a really smooth transition for you, particularly if you have any item that's really dialed in, like say, well, those are not really dialed in. Do I have anything that's really dialed in? I don't have anything that's super dialed in. We'll pretend like that Storm Servo is a Piercer Servo. If so, I would consider this a pretty decent relic. You might want to consider actually upgrading this relic back up to Chaos 7 again, as it's going to just really speed your journey and make things super, super easy. Here's the downside. If you're going to do a bunch of Ancient Power resets, this is going to cost you a ton of gold and a ton of materials. So I personally, once again, back to the same concept, you've already gone through the game without having any good gear. So picking up just the stuff that's on the ground as you go is going to be the cheapest way for you to go through an Ancient Power reset. Of course, it's always a good idea to have yourself a few million gold. As you see, I'm right at about 3.5 million. And I actually want to kind of let this document that starting number, as I have 0 gilded shards, and that's another big deal. Obviously, the base of the game is having the correct shards. Well, if you have these shards gilded, then you don't have to upgrade them through Ancient Power resets, plus you're getting the increased value out of them just from the shard being gilded. However, let's face it, gilding shards is quite the grind. It can be an absurd grind, in fact, and most players that want to do an Ancient Power reset for the first time are just not going to have gilded shards. Now, back to the same concept of climbing higher in Onslaught. If you have gilded shards, it's going to make your life a lot easier, but you just don't need them. So we're going to go through an Ancient Power reset. We're going to see how we come out at the end of it, and if I am still at that 3.5 million gold mark. So let's go ahead and head on into town and talk to Mana Node and get this done for the very first time. So we're just going to head on over to Mr. Mana Node here and get this job done. So once again, if we add Ancient Power, remember all of our shards, all of our gear, everything is going to get reset down to its base form, which means we're going to have to re-upgrade shards. So we don't want to re-upgrade anything or everything. We only want to upgrade what we need. But first things first, let's look. What gets reset? All equipment levels goes back down to campaign. All non-gilded shard levels, so your shards all reset. All trials progression, so you're going to have to go back through the system. Partial onslaught progression, meaning you don't have to go back to floor 1, and we'll get into that in just a moment as well. What you gain, I'm going to gain 1 ancient power point, 300 to my talent caps, 5% gold, 5% XP, and 900 minimum ascension levels. So let's do it up. Bam. I can't go back now. I've done hit the button. And ancient power is flowing one more time in the juicy household here, as it has been a while. And of course I'm going to get myself my free prestigious weapon for doing the ancient power reset. Let's check that weapon out and see what kind of hotness we got. 7 out of 10 Marknado. Marknado is one of those ones where it has 0 effect, whether it be 1 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. But we got us some Marknado. What did we lose? Oh, everything's back down to 0. So alright, let's head back into town. And this first episode, I'm not going to run the first map, but I am going to get set back up for it. So let's head on back into our private tavern and get this done. Alright, so we've done it, we've hit the button, it's time to spend some of this gold. Now, as I mentioned, I am not going to upgrade all this stuff. It's just not going to happen. What I am going to do is upgrade the base stuff I'm going to want to use for the build. So, let's start off with a Skyguard Tower. Having a Skyguard Tower is going to be pretty darn helpful, so let's get these shards upgraded. Now, remember, you can always use Defender Medals if you want to. I'm not going to. I'm going to assume that I'm a newer player that's saving those Defender Medals up, so I'm going to use straight up gold. Now, first thing, Skyguards are going to need defense rate. There's a couple of 100,000. What else are we going to need? Well, we're definitely going to need destruction. There's a little bit more. We're definitely going to need deadly strikes. And there is yet a bit more. Now, what else do we want? We're going to want some flame auras, right? So let's go ahead and upgrade deadly strikes. Let's upgrade destruction. And we'll upgrade defense rate. Maybe. There we go. And then the bulk of the build that I'm going to be focused on is the Petrify combo. So I'm going to use Poison Dart Towers and Earth Shatters. So if we take a look at our Earth Shatter, we definitely want Earth Toss. Oh, that's a pricey one, but we're going to want it anyway. So let's get Earth Toss on there. Let's go with Defense Rate. And let's go with Destruction. And then let's take a look at the Poison Dart Tower. Explosive Poison. Oh my god. 500,000 to upgrade that bad boy. We're going to do it anyway. So let's go ahead and upgrade that. Let's hit Defense Rate. And let's hit Destruction. Okay, now moving on to the hero. I'm going to be DPSing on the Nuke Monk. Now, what is the required shards on a Nuke Monk? Well, Drenching Strikes is sure nice. So is Burning Strikes. How much is it to upgrade Drench? Drench is 115,000. Burning is 500,000. Oof, that's just a ton. Speed Boost, I think, is a no-brainer. It's only 20k, and that's just massive, massive quality of life, so we're going to get Speed Boost upgraded, and Crane Stance. Crane Stance is an expensive one, but it is the base of the Nuke Monk build. So if I want a nuke, I'm going to need Crane Stance. I don't have enough gold to get it upgraded, but I'm going to upgrade it as far as I can to at least get myself started off. Now, as I earn more gold, of course, I'm going to want to dump more into it to get it all the way up. Just short, 13,000 short, and we'll have that last upgrade, so we just need to run a map. Now, these are the only shards I really feel like I need. I mean, everything else is nice. Power Gambit's nice, Bulwark's nice, Heroic Power's nice, but I don't need these shards upgraded to progress through an Ancient Power reset. I'm really happy with just having Crane Stance and Speed Boost upgraded, plus my defenses. Now, of course, I still need to go through and apply my Ascension, but let's take a look at what we need to do. Now, first off, doing Ancient Power resets is all about Onslaught. You shouldn't be doing Expeditions at all. You should just hop right back into Onslaught and make it happen. Well, if we try to start up a map, oh, it's letting us start on floor 6. Well, that's because our very first Ancient Power reset earned us the right of having floors 1 through 5 cleared. So we have no reason to ever do floor 1 through 5 again, and we're going to start right on floor 6. Now, we'll get that done next episode, and I'll go through my Ascension next episode. However, it requires starting at floor 6, and to do another Ancient Power reset, it's going to require getting to floor 30. So we've got to do from floor 6 to floor 30, that's 25 maps, and we're not going to do any more at all. Just what's absolute basics and what is required of us. So that will do it for this episode. I'm excited to get through this AP reset. I'm going to record and document every step of the way. That way there's a full record of a kind of a simple how-to of the route I personally would take for an Ancient Power reset for the very first time. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to click that like button and please subscribe to the channel. I will be back real soon with more Dungeon Defenders 2. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.